professional agile coach is a pretty loaded term. There's a lot in that. So first of all, a lot of people assume that as soon as you're a Scrum Master with more than a couple of teams, you're an agile coach. I think there's a lot of confusion in the industry about this, because I think there's primarily people are agile consultants, not coaches per se. So let me explore that a little bit. A consultant will use their expertise to advise or guide their client to an improved way of learning and delivering. That's consultancy. Coaching, it's really important. It's a stance. It's a stance we take as a Scrum Master. It's a stance we take as agile coaches, where you collaborate with your client, and by objectively asking questions and inviting the client to reflect, they find the answer to the question. Now, where it gets blurry with agile coaching is you'll either have a situation where the client is not aware of the tool, the practice, the technique, or typically as a professional Scrum trainer, people will be using the language incorrectly. There was one of my clients I worked with, an organization that looked after medical support, medical indemnity. And I was working with them on the Visual Studio stuff, and we're having this conversation between the project manager, the lead engineer, the head of engineering, and myself. And they kept using the term sprint. Now, sprint, to me as a professional Scrum trainer, immediately has a lot of resonance. It is a time box at the end of which the team will have completed and delivered a done increment. So done means releasable and usable. The other three people on the call were using the word sprint to indicate a 2-week phase of the life cycle. So they did an analysis sprint, a design sprint, a develop sprint, a test sprint, a package sprint, and deploy sprint. So their sprints lasted 3 months, which isn't a sprint at all. And this confusion permeates so many organizations, where people don't have an understanding of the vocabulary. They haven't read the appropriate authoritative guides, for instance, the Scrum Guide, the Kanban Guide, or the Kanban Blue Book. And so then you'll also have people going out offering advice based on lack of understanding. The other thing that I think is critical is to check back in on these guides. The Scrum Guide is updated every year, 2 years. And so if there is a guide, you need to keep updated, and that ties into the professional element. So then if we bring it all together, a professional agile coach is somebody who maintains their currency within the topic of agile. So it's broader than just one technique, so that they're able to use a variety of tools, techniques, and practices. They're continually learning and advancing their skills in that area. They have the ability to adapt their stance so that they can then help the clients find out the best way for them to solve their problems. So they're not directive. They will dance between being a coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator with a client to help them improve their value delivery.